Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear this news. Let's get into this. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here. So if my audio sounds a bit different today, that is because this time I'm actually plugging in my microphone into this BeachTech MCC2 preamp. I wanted to see if this is a device that I could use to film at future conventions. Although with the way things are going right now, it doesn't seem like I'll be going to really any events anytime soon. Why am I talking about this? That is because today we're going to be talking about the cancellation of E3 2020. Yes, you heard right, E3 2020 has been canceled. And lo and behold, if you go to the E3 website, you'll see this statement, and the convention is being canceled due to concerns of the coronavirus. This is what the statement had to say, quote, News, E3 2020 canceled due to growing concerns over COVID-19 virus. After careful consultation with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we have made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9th through 11th in Los Angeles. Following increased and overwhelming concerns about the COVID-19 virus, we felt this was the best way to proceed during such an unprecedented global situation. We are very disappointed that we are unable to hold this event for our fans and supporters, but we know it's the right decision based on the information we have today. Our team will be reaching out directly to exhibitors and attendees with information about providing full refunds. We are also exploring options with our members to coordinate an online experience to showcase industry announcements and news in June 2020. Updates will be shared on e3expo.com. We thank everyone who has shared their views on reimagining E3 this year. We look forward to bringing you E3 2021 as a reimagined event that brings fans, media, and the industry together in a showcase that celebrates the global video game industry. So, as I said in the beginning of the video, I said that I wasn't really surprised to hear that E3 is getting canceled, especially with all that's been going on with the fears of the coronavirus. I mean, the New York Times came out with a story saying that the U.S. caseload for the virus has surpassed 1,000. And the threat of the coronavirus has affected the gaming industry in many ways. Like, I think about how Microsoft and Nintendo have enacted work from home policies in some of their offices, and California and in Washington. And specifically, I think about how like Microsoft has enacted such policies for some of their employees in their Redmond, Washington and Mountain View, California offices. And other events like GDC, South by Southwest, Mobile World Congress, and WonderCon are either canceled or postponed due to concerns of the virus. I was really looking forward to going to WonderCon 2020 this year since I couldn't make it last year, but lo and behold, if you go on WonderCon's Twitter account, they have announced that the convention has been postponed at this time. And it's also affecting theme parks. I know I talked a bit about this in a Bob Chapek video where I discussed the new Disney CEO, and since then, Tokyo Disneyland has temporarily closed its doors, and more recently, Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure have also temporarily closed. And speaking of Disney, they have also delayed the release of some of their movies, including the Mulan remake that I've been talking about a lot, as well as the New Mutants. So, the point of me making this video, it's not that I'm going to turn into like the coronavirus news channel or something crazy like that. It's the point of this video is for me to give you all an update on like some of the events and topics that I usually cover on my channel, and I will be going into more about E3 in just a second. And the way I've personally been handling the coronavirus, I'm not turning into one of those people that like buys all the hand sanitizer and water at Walmart. The way I've been personally protecting myself from the virus is mainly just by practicing in good hygiene. And I think the best way to prevent the spread of the virus is not to panic, but just to be cautious. And I was disappointed to hear E3 was being canceled for a couple reasons. I definitely do support the cancellation of E3 because I don't want to see, anybody that goes there to be sick. I want the staff to be safe. I want the coronavirus to be contained. Definitely, I definitely support that. But E3 is definitely, it's the event that I still get excited for. I know a lot of people question its relevance these days because of competition, like things like the Game Awards, for instance, like how at last year's Game Awards, the Xbox Series X, I still feel like was one of the biggest announcements to come out of that event. And there's also even competing in announcement events from even the companies themselves. Like I think about the Nintendo Directs or the PlayStation State of Play. But I still look to E3 as the place where many of the gaming industry's biggest announcements still happen, and it's still another reason why I get excited for E3 2020. Another reason like I was sad was that I was also hoping that maybe E3 2020 could have been their comeback convention after the convention has been surrounded by like competition, yes, but there's also been a lot of controversy and many major players were dropping out of the convention. So like I think about the accidental doxing that happened on the E3 website and how Sony wasn't going to E3 anyway, and by extension Jeff Keighley wasn't going either. So it looks like if E3 really wants to really prove itself again, and it's still something I get excited for, but if it really wants to show that, it's changed, and they kind of suggested that then they're going to have to do that with E3 2021. Now, will this affect next-gen consoles like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? I think it's kind of up in the air a bit, mainly because I'm still waiting on any release date information from either Sony or Microsoft. I know that AMD had a presentation, and if you check out the slide, they said that the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are still slated for holiday 2020. So they are saying, don't worry, it still seems like the PS5 and Xbox Series X will still be out in time for this coming holiday season. I would personally wait for an announcement from Sony or Microsoft, though. Especially since I still think there could be the possibility that the next-gen consoles could be delayed in order for them to be manufactured, like if they can't be produced in factories because factory workers have to stay home. And again, I personally support that. I don't want to see factory workers, be in danger of getting sick from the virus or have the coronavirus continue to spread. In order to keep them safe, I definitely understand if we have to wait for next-generation consoles, then... and for safety reasons, then I completely understand myself. Although, interestingly enough, what I'm thinking is I definitely think it is possible. There is a possibility that Sony and Microsoft, I mean Sony wasn't going to E3 anyhow, but I definitely think that Sony and Microsoft, they could technically have whole events of their own where they announce the pricing of their upcoming systems. And in the case of the PS5, they still have yet to show off what their new system looks like. So they're probably going to do them at their own events. I'll talk more about Microsoft in just a second. Although... and I'm not saying that the consoles, like let's say AMD is right and they are ready to go for holiday 2020. I'm not saying they should be delayed just so they could be shown off at E3, maybe 2021. But what I'm thinking from the ESA's perspective and E3's perspective is, whoa, if the next-gen consoles, like if they truly are coming out in time for holiday 2020, I would be concerned that it might make people question E3's relevance even more. I know that Microsoft has hinted at a next generation console at E3 before, but what I'm thinking is if Microsoft and Sony are ready to go and they can have their own events, I think E3 and the ESA are really going to have to further question what can they do next. Because if these consoles launch without an explicit presence at any E3 convention, then I think that E3 and the ESA are going to have to further consider what can we really do to stand out. I know that there was a article I talked about a while back that suggested maybe E3 can become a more fan-centric event, and like instead of going from being a traditional trade show and in my opinion relying on things like upcoming console and game announcements, it's going to have to also become a even more fan-centric event. I know in recent years E3 has opened itself more and more to the public, but I've heard it's just that it might have to become more of a PAX West style convention as opposed to being the traditional trade show, which yes, E3 would still have a lot of competitors, and from my experience going to Anime Expo at the Los Angeles Convention Center, it would probably turn E3 into a super crowded convention. But I'm curious to see what E3 is going to do to turn itself around. Maybe by doing they suggested that they're looking into doing some online events. Maybe they could integrate whatever they planned for this year. They said they're looking into doing some sort of online experience, and maybe they'll integrate that into future E3 conventions. So it may be, in a sense, even if E3 2020 is no longer going to happen, it may be the start of new things coming with the way E3 presents itself and the way and the kind of convention it is. So I guess we'll have to see what happens in the case of what's going to happen with the future E3. Will this cancellation affect future events in that it would introduce new ways for E3 to really modernize itself and to make it and to give it a chance to maybe even be more than just the trade show that it normally is? So I guess we'll have to see. Now, how have the companies themselves responded to the announcement that E3 is canceled? I know that if you check out this Kotaku article that I'll have linked down below in the description, Microsoft said that they're going to have some sort of Xbox digital event. Devolver Digital says that they're still planning some sort of live stream. And Nintendo is still kind of up in the air in terms of what they want to do. I would personally like to see them, like many Nintendo fans out there, I really want to see them do another Nintendo Direct event, because I still really want to see what else Nintendo has down in the pipeline for the Nintendo Switch. I know there are still games coming like Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4. I'm not really sure if those games are coming out anytime soon per se, but I'm curious to hear more about games like those. I was kind of hoping maybe E3 2020 would be the year where Bethesda would announce the release date for Doom Eternal on the Switch. Yes, I know that Doom Eternal is coming out on March 20th for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, but the Switch version's release date has yet to be announced, so I guess we'll see how that goes. I'm curious to see what E3 does in 2021, as well as what online experience are they going to have? Is it going to be something that's like interactive? Is it going to be like some sort of Nintendo Direct style announcement event or something like that? This might even, and to add on the things I talked about earlier with like what is E3 going to do to make itself stand out even more? Are they going to have even more like some sort of online experiences or announcements for people that can't be at the convention due to cost or just not being part of the established games media? Like if you're a casual fan of the industry, or if you're not doing video game journalism, but you still really get pumped for the exciting announcements that come out of E3, are they going to cater more so to that crowd, or are they going to go in the direction where E3 becomes an even more fan-centric event? I guess at this point, we'll have to see how that goes. Like I said, I think there were a lot of things working against E3 2020. I'd still say it's still definitely a convention that still personally excites me. I'm excited to see what happens with E3 2021. I just think that what's really challenging E3 and the ESA right now is a lot of competition from other events and a really skeptical audience. So I'm really curious to hear your thoughts down below. What are your personal thoughts on E3? Were you excited for E3 2020? Leave all your personal thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.